Well, welcome to a day in the life of the goat shed. This is a few little tidbits of what we're going to get up to today, being Tuesday the 8th of November. And that marks today I've been back in the country exactly 1 week. And any of us that follow you on our Facebook page know we've got about 11 jobs on hand. And the top jobs we're currently finishing off is Gottlieb's high hand. We're just now waiting on a playfield overlay to turn up for that. We've done everything else except put the playfield back together, of course. We've got a surfer we're in the middle of here. You can see the playfield. This playfield's been coated once before and just needs cleaning up and everything reassembled. We've got all new parts for that. And Spanky just having a look. We're going to get a bit of Novus onto this a little later. We've also got a Central Park. Now the Central Park is going to need repainting, and that's the one people may recall that the playfield is really bad, and I believe an overlay is going to get done for that. But the owner has asked us to get it up and running, paint the cabinet, then he's going to worry about the playfield a little later on. So that's okay with us. That's more work we've got to do. So that's 3 jobs on the go, as well as quite a number of others. And we mentioned target pool, quick draw, close encounters, bowling queen. What else? Oh, we've got an Icarus coming in this Saturday morning, and last Saturday morning we had come in a Bally Beach Club bingo from around 1953. That's a really nice old wooden leg bingo machine. Beautiful. So if it is 53, that means it's 69 years old. So, gee, that's a long time. So there we go. We've just got to go out there. We're packing our tool bag to go into a field call. Now, we don't do too many of these, but it sounds like something's happened. We put a flipper kit in for this guy's machine about, 12 months ago, and something's gone wrong with one of the flippers. It can't be too much. Hopefully it's just a loose screw, maybe. So we'll have a look at that, and we're going to evaluate his pro football. It needs a fair bit of goat love. And so on. So what do we got now? Let's show you what we're doing now with the Central Park. Right, now here it is. As everyone knows, these cabinets are fairly solid, but this particular one, the bottom of it has come adrift here, so we're going to have to fix that up, do a bit of filling and so on, and Graham will trace the stenciling on it a little later. Now, it looks like this has been painted at some stage of the game. A very rough job, but it has been painted. So it's all going to need sanding down. It's all lifting off. We'll do that. Graham will trace the stencils, and then we'll be able to make our stencils as you've seen in our videos before. The front of it's pretty rugged too. But we'll get it happening. There's the cabinet of the surfer. It just needs a few touch-ups. Oh, that's bowling queen there we've got to do. What's that? Oh, there's the back end of Central Park there, and the playfield. Have a look at the playfield. You've seen it before, I think, but it's a shocker. It's really bad. Probably the worst I've ever seen. So we've got to get into that. And there's the head box from Central Park. That should be relatively a simple job. Once again, Graham will freehand we'll trace the stencils, and then we'll be able to do the work on it. Here's the beach club came. You can't really see it there. It's all wrapped up nicely, but we look forward to working on that. I highly doubt we'll get onto that this year, and give us, more work to do. But that'll be a pleasure to work on. Looks to be in fairly good condition. And there's high hand over there in the corner, as I mentioned earlier. Just waiting on. It's had new side rails, waiting on a front door, and new legs will be ordered for that. I'm not sure if I showed you this in a previous video, but that's an NCR cash register there. It looks like a late 40s, maybe early 50s. It's a bit hard to tell, but it actually works, and we're going to get that going for the guy. But once again, that's a long-term project. So what we're doing now, we're going off to have a look at this King Cool and the Pro Football, and we'll show you what we do with those. Well, as mentioned earlier, here we are in a client's house looking at his King Cool. Now the complaint was that the left flipper was sticking. On investigation, we didn't really find any mechanical binding, but what we did discover that there was really no up and down play whatsoever in the flipper shaft. So we've given it just minimal up and down play. There was also a little bit of something on the playfield that was sort of stuck there, but I really don't think that was the problem, but we've removed that. There's Spanky there having a look. We did put a flipper kit in this some time ago. You can see the new flipper links are all looking nice there for you. There they are there. So let's put the playfield down now and just have a little look and see how it's going to work. King Cool, of course, has 4 flippers. There it is. Make a bit of noise there. The glass is off at the moment here. The bonus counting down. So that seems to be working. We'll just give it a bit of a further test. Okay, so King Cool seems to be working okay now. So what we've also got here is a Pro Football. Here it is. Now Pro Football is an interesting game. You know, it's one of those ones with the extra score reel. And this is what the problem is with this game. If we turn it on, there it is, the score motor's running, so that's classic. Probably a score reel not reset, so we'll be able to check that out further, but this needs a bit of work. So that's a complaint that most newcomers find with the pinball machine. Why is it so? And also notice it is in tilt. Can we see that right in the camera? Oh, there it is there. That's perfectly normal when you turn it on. So we're just going to turn that off so we don't run the score motor too hot. So this is one of those games where you kick the ball out with the right flipper and it shoots it up the top. This should clean up rather nicely. It's got a little bit, it's a 4 flipper game as well. This owner must love 4 flipper games. There you go. And the bonus array could be adjusted. I should say not adjusted, could be replaced. There, that's a bit easier to see now with the other pinball glass off. So yeah, that's got one of those FS relays in there, FSAS relays. Drop targets, Vera targets I should say. They'll need doing. There's 2 of those. All in all, this one should come up pretty good. The back glass isn't too bad either for a game of its age. Probably a re-rubber. Do some adjustments. There's a fair bit of wear where the ball kicks out, but yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Just clean it up the best we can. So there you go. Spanky's off to do a Gottlieb soccer. That's his next job. So this morning we had 3 field jobs, which is very rare for us to do. We rarely go out of the goat shed. That lazy goat won't go anywhere. But he will go to the pub. So we'll carry on and move on to our next job. Okay, so we're on site at our next job, which is a Gottlieb soccer. Now, this machine was at our Pinfest in middle of September, and when it got home, it had a couple of little minor problems. And one of the first problems was the red kick-out hole there. The actual kicker arm was catching in 2 places on the light globe, and it was binding a little bit here. So we've rectified that, and we've strengthened the switch to give it more stroke, or more tension on the spring back. We did that on the yellow one as well. Now the other problem that was being complained about was that the carryover on the 10s wasn't functioning right. Well, we found a couple of problems there, so let's show you what's going on. So on the score reel plate, the washer that sits under the C-clip, was actually missing. I mean, it may have broken. That allowed the stack to move up and down, altering the state of the switches. So they're all adjusted right now. So there we go. Get a bit of focus there. It is hard to see, isn't it? There's a bit of a light in the background, but they're all right. And while we're on the job, we just thought we'd pay attention to the 10-point relay, which of course is the N relay, and make sure that everything's okay there. So just little things happen when it travelled, I guess. Got it all working again properly. We'll give it. There it is, good old Gottlieb soccer with the animation feature with the balls, just like Top Score and 300. And of course Gottlieb Super Soccer is the 4-player game. Spanky's happy with it. This has got a fairly nice play field on it. There's not really much damage. Looks quite nice. We have worked on this in the past. So that's the end of our adventure in the goat shed this morning, I think. When we leave here, we'll go back to the shed and pack up for the day, because it'll be 12 midday by the time we get back. Well, we arrived back in the shed and decided by looking around that we've got a lot of work to do, and normally we don't work of an afternoon, but it was decided that we needed to do some work. So what we've done, or Graham largely done all of this, replaced every lamp in the lamp array, put a new ground on there, wired it all up to replace this. Now, being a bonus ladder, these are often troublesome. You often got to get here and clean all these thoroughly and then solder them to ground, and it's a lot of mucking around, so we decided to do that on this game to fix that up. At the same time, we decided we would clean up the drop target mechs and give them a polish, bit of elbow grease and auto sol after going through the ultrasonic cleaner. So that makes a little bit of a difference. This guy wants this machine to look as nice as possible. And we're also going to have to replace a lot of lamp sockets. I'd say on the under the playfield, probably pay particular attention to these ones that go shine through the star rollovers. Quite possibly change some of those, because you want them to be alight all the time, and change the lights. There's a lot of old lamps in here, old 44s, you can see by the colour of them, that have probably not been changed for ages. So yeah, that's what we decided to do, because as I said earlier on, pretty well all the parts for this have arrived, and it's no point in procrastinating. We've got to get it done. So I've currently got the bonus unit out of the game. That normally lives here where the cutters are. So I've got that frame. We'll give that a bit of a clean up, and we're going to put a new spring kit in this bonus unit. One of these from Steve, the KTG Step 01. It's got all the springs we need in it. New torsion spring. So yeah, they're fairly inexpensive. They're only about $6. So yeah, if you're going to do it, like, you often don't have to change the torsion spring, but the guy's bought it, so let's do it for him, just to do a good job. Now the other thing we're going to have to pay a little bit of attention to is up towards the back here, and where will we go? So yeah, the trip bank, we've got to go through and tighten every screw up, every screw head. We'll clean all the rollers. Makes a world of difference if you clean all those rollers. Just get a Q-tip and a bit of isopropyl on them and clean them, and the back of the switchblade, even get the Dremel tool down in there. Also important to clean, make sure you replace the coil sleeve on the trip bank. Reset bar. So progress is happening on this Gottlieb Surfer. I think the next thing we're going to do is we've got the side rails off, or not the side rails, the side wood off the playfield. There they are there. We just finished taking the metal pieces off. You just prise those off gently with a jeweler's driver, and then we'll start putting all the other mechanisms back together. So in this basket here we've got most of the parts. The pop bumpers will get rebuilt, the flippers will get rebuilt. Probably have to do a bit of cleaning of those frames, I guess. Well, there's one there that may not clean up well. And I believe the guys bought new coils for the pop bumpers. I haven't looked, but knowing this guy, he wants the yellow dot ones. So yeah, that's what's been happening. So we'll get in and finish all that off tomorrow morning. Then we're also going to have to start in the next day or two to get that cabinet prepared on that central park. We were actually looking at that more closely yesterday and discovered the artwork we're going to trace is actually incorrect. So Graham had a good look at that and he's figured out what to do. So we might even do a little video and show you how he does that. We sort of have done that before, but we've got a lot of new viewers, may not have scrolled all through all our videos, which we've got a lot, and show you how he actually does that, which is pretty good. He's very artistic, our Graham. I can't do that sort of stuff, but he certainly can. Well, once again, we remind you to subscribe to our channel. It's very important to us. Recommend our channel to your friends, please. And don't forget to give us the big thumbs up. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, please ask below. And don't forget to join our Facebook group where help is given on repairs in general. We try and do that there rather than on YouTube because it takes up a little bit too much time. So our Facebook page is the Goat Shed EM Pinball Repair Specialists. In the meantime, this has been another Goat Shed presentation.